The Kentucky Derby has arrived, and we have brought him back onto the program. One of my favorites, Batavia Downs Western OTB VP of Business Development, and I call him a horse racing analyst because he knows the sport inside and out. I'm allowed. No, that's allowed. We've added that title years ago, my man. You know we have. Ryan Hasenauer, welcome back. We're going to preview the Derby, talk about all the things going on at Batavia Downs Gaming, and hopefully under 10 minutes. Welcome aboard, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Honestly, Major's my claim to fame as far as being an actual bettor or an analyst. I did get that right 2 years ago in 2023, and that was a nice payday for me and everybody that listened to me. I've gotten better over the years. At least that's true.
Well, again, sports, if you make picks, and I've kind of slowed down on predictions because A, you're always going to be wrong no matter how much you know somewhere. True. And B, social media has changed everything. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to preview things, talk about things, maybe some keys to the game. But I'm not giving you scores anymore. I'm not giving you who's going to win or lose because we're going to be right and wrong all the time. And I don't want to deal with the social media backlash. Having said that, this Derby is loaded. Journalism, the favorite. Johnny V looking for history to win another one. Baffert's back with 2 horses.
Baffert's back.
I give you the platform on storylines, where you want to go, sneaky horses. Rodriguez looks like a nice pick. What do you got for me? Can't wait to hear.
I've been talking to Nick the Railbird, who's like the analyst for OTB, who's kind of been taking over and doing some things. And his hot picks will be on the cover of the Kentucky Derby program, which, of course, will be free at all your local OTBs, branches, and easy bets. You can check out westernotb.com for a location near you. Of course, you can sign up for Batavia Bets, and we'll get you wagering no matter where you are in New York State on that day, too. But, Mike, you talk about journalism, the favorite. He's done nothing wrong in his last 4 starts. The horse is just winning, and he's – the knock on him, though, is that all the fields he's been racing against have been pretty low. 5 horses, there's 19 other horses in the Derby. So you got to get a perfect trip. And if you're not used to having horses in your face, horses ahead of you, that's going to be a problem. Journalism is the type of horse where he's going to stalk, he wants to stalk, but there's a lot of front runners and there's a lot of stalkers in this race. And if he's not liking the mud getting kicked up in his face, that's going to be a problem. We're still at a 50% chance of rain. Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen with that? I've got a couple of ones I looked at with the mud. But yeah, we'll see what happens here with journalism. But he's a good horse. There's no doubt about it. Personally, I'm a big fan of Tistastic. He's got great breeding. Dad, was Tiz the Law, the 2020 Belmont winner and the Travers winner. He won the Louisiana Derby. Didn't have a lot of great races before that. But, the thing about the Derby, though, Mike, is to peak at the right time, right? You got to be able to peak at the right time. And he won the Louisiana Derby with Joel Rosario on his back. It's the first time Joel was riding him. He came 5th in the Rebel Stakes, 3rd in the Southwest, and just didn't seem to, get it. But he kind of bounced back and was doing well here lately with some good speed figures. So I like Tistastic. I know it's a little bit of a fashionable pick, and he is one of the favorites, especially with this whole Metallica, tie-in. But Sandman is also somebody who I really, really like. He's going to close, so he's going to hope for some fast first fractions to get those horses out front tired. If there's too many horses at the front and they all decide to not go fast, that's going to make it very difficult for all the closers and the deep closers in this race, of which there are a few. Sandman rallied from 8th place to win the Arkansas Derby, and that's very, very awesome to see. But he's got to put himself in a spot where he's not going to try to get around and pick off too many horses in that final home stretch. He's got to get himself maybe not deep close, but maybe just regular close, sit around 10th or 11th. And then when he gets to the end, pull a Rich Strike. Rich Strike did back in 2022 and just wow everybody. But, Sandman's a good horse. He obviously won his other races and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of that. And then, talk about sneaky horses, Luxor Cafe, who's one of the 2 Japanese horses. Nick and I were talking and Nick told me, he goes, look, it's not a question of when or of if, but when a Japanese horse will finally win the Kentucky Derby. You got to get shipped halfway around the world. Sometimes, even though they're bred and raced in Japan, sometimes they're going over to Saudi Arabia to race where they're getting their Derby points. So it can be tough. But, Forever Young just got clipped at the wire there, who was a Japanese horse there last year and just missed winning the Derby. So, Luxor Cafe is somebody to keep an eye on as well.
And that's Pharaoh behind me on the wall. That's a Pharaoh. That's the bloodline.
Right. There's 2 Pharaoh horses in this race, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, as you said, Luxor Cafe being one of them. The other one, I got all my notes here, but it's somewhere in here. But yeah, there's a couple of good horses that have great lineage. Yeah,
Yeah, and not only that, two of what was it? Two Japanese horses last year finished in the top 5. So they're making their way through how their training is. They're trying to figure out systematically. It's like anything else. You got to wait and see who's the pioneer. Somebody sets a standard, and they're starting to figure out the system. And then they get to the States, and holy cow, we've seen a major improvement from all of those horses, no question.
Yep.
Ryan, it should also be noted in here that the Derby Gala is sold out. You had sent me some information here, but you got a half chicken barbecue special downstairs that's first come, first serve, right? And then branches open at 10:30 a.m. Saturday, and some advanced wagering is available on Friday. So we want to throw that in too before the end of the segment.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned. So the Derby Gala, we have it every year, and people absolutely just love it. It's packed. We get about 275 people up in our historic clubhouse here at Batavia Downs. You say to yourself, well, what do you guys use the clubhouse for year round when you're not racing? Because we only race half the year with the harness racing that goes on here starting up in July. And it's like, well, we renovated it so that anybody can book it. So, we've got some great event facilities on site. We just had our friends from Channel 8 in Rochester. They did the Big Brother casting call here yesterday. 300 people, type A's. Everybody was talking and excited to try to get on the show. And so we had that at one of our banquet facilities. The clubhouse has been renovated, and we'll have these horse racing parties up there because people enjoy being in a horse racing environment for these horse racing big days. So we're going to be welcoming everybody up there. I believe we actually turned on more tickets. So if you do want to make the drive out here, you can you get a couple more tickets. Let's see if there's any available on here. I believe there's just a few left. But you can also, like you mentioned, come for the $35 deal, and that's fantastic. Yeah. We sold 600 of those last year. We're sold out by 5 o'clock. That opens up at 11:30, so don't delay. If you're looking for a quick hit, you come in, half chicken barbecue with the fixings on the side, a soda. You're going to get a $25 free play, and you're going to get a $5 wager on the Derby, and you get a free program. So like lunch is like maybe $3 when you piecemeal it all out. So that's free. It's basically free. I mean, we're paying you to show up here. It's just one of the absolute best things that we have going on here at Batavia Downs. It's like our Super Bowl. I mean, this is like the biggest day because you've got a party up there. Woodford Reserve is on site. They're doing sampling. I got Coors Light coming to do sampling. We've got some folks from Try It Distributing coming to do some more sampling here with that as well. It's just going to be an absolutely jam-packed day and just a lot of fun. And that's one of the things that we love about this place. We're entertainment, right? Yep. So we got Derby shirts. We got Derby glasses. I got my glass right here. I got my bin. So people are going to be winning those. We're going to be giving those away, blowing those out. So it's going to be a great time here. And as you mentioned, the branch is open at 10:30. They'll have drawings for the glasses. They'll have drawings for the shirts as well. And all the easy bets, again, you can check out westernotb.com/locations. A lot of those places do different things. Some of them do hat contests. Some of them blow out the shirts in different ways. So every easy bet's a little bit different. And that's a fun thing. And it's a great thing for a bar. And if any bar owners are listening, by the way, because, Mike, you're out, Syracuse way. If there's any bar owners out there that are in one of our counties, which would include Seneca County and Oswego County, if you've got a bar restaurant and you're open by noon every day, and you're looking for some little something extra to kind of get business here, we operate just like the New York State Lottery. We'll give you a bank, we'll install some TVs, people will come in and they'll wager on the horses, and you'll get maybe people to stay a little bit longer. And another great thing about it is that on days like this, these bellwether days, the Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont, Travers Day, even the Alabama Stakes for Saratoga all through the summer, and of course the Breeders' Cup, you'll have days where you're going to have a guaranteed crowd. And that's exciting for a bar owner to say, look, it's this first Saturday in May. Maybe it's nice out. No one's going to come to my place. Guess what? If you've got horse wagering because you're one of our easy bets, you're going to be packed all day. So definitely give us a call here at the home office in Batavia if you're a bar owner and you're looking to maybe branch out and offer something else to your patrons. Become an OTB easy bet.
That's awesome stuff. Yeah. And the Derby, I've been there. I went once in 2016. The lead up to it, the races during the day, you can feel the momentum until the race. I got to tell you, if you're not going to the Derby, it's the same thing when you're watching it at an atmosphere like Batavia Downs Gaming. I mean, you can feel the momentum. The races are on all day. You're with great people. Everybody has the same ideas. It's really great stuff. So head on over to
Mm-hmm.
BataviaDownsGaming.com. Head on over to your local OTB, your local bar in that Oswego area, like Ryan said. Get involved in all of that. Anything in the last 30 seconds, 60 seconds here to hit on in terms of Derby that you want to wrap on, Ryan?
Yeah, just, I would say keep an eye out, as you said, during the day. What are the type of races that are going on before that? What jockeys are winning? Because those jockeys are saying, hey, look, I'm racing against the same jockeys every race.
Yep.
What can we do to say, look, nobody's protecting the rail. Next time I'm going to see if I can get through the rail this way. There's all these little things that will happen throughout the day that will then, set the tone for what happens later in the day. So keep an eye out on the winning jocks and the winning styles of racing. Leading up to that race, you can still make your advanced wagers on Friday. If you feel good about a horse hitting in the money or whatever else. But just keep that in mind. You got to watch it all, man. You got to analyze.
No doubt, no doubt. Just like this guy does all the time. Batavia Downs, Western OTB, proud sponsors of the ML Sports Platter. He is Ryan Hasenauer, of course. Follow all of the groups on social media. Check out everything for the weekend. Head on over to the Chicken Barbecue. Couple left, he said, for that gala. So hop on the line and get those tickets right now as well. The VP of Business Development, a horse racing analyst, of course, with us, Ryan Hasenauer on the platter from Western OTB and Batavia Downs Gaming. Ryan, thanks so much again for jumping on. Your support means a lot to me, of course, and we'll talk real soon. I'm getting out there. I texted you last night.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out there for a visit sometime, grab lunch, and see the facility, okay?
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for the time.